it gets quiet. We all pause. Quiet. He was like, "What you talking about?" He tried to play it off. He was like, "What you talking about? I wasn't with nobody last night." Mind you, I got to his house. How did I get to his house? Oh, we were talking like 2 o'clock that morning. So I didn't even know he had went out. I guess it makes sense though, because he was kind of like tipsy and a little freaky. But
it's just the say nobody with the wasting girl. This I know say don't put no fisting girl. Daddy land. Say your man you are replacing girl. Yo daddy now land and back up your thing if you're good up. Yeah. Wind your waist if you're good up. Touch up yourself if you're good up. Good up, my girl.
What's up guys, it's your girl T, and today I am bringing you guys my very first Get Ready With Me. I'm going to the Burna Boy concert here at Northern Island in Chicago. So I thought it'd be really cool to put together a little Get Ready With Me / story time. This is my first official time out. I went out for my birthday, but this is my first like official time out since having the baby. So I'm really excited, and yeah, let's get into it. Before we go any further, if you are returning, thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, comment. As always, let me know what you guys want to see. Yeah, and before we get into the makeup portion, I want to let you guys know that I am not a professional. This is how I do my makeup. This is what works for me. So don't be leaving no comments about, oh, you did that wrong, that's not supposed to look like that and all that. This is what works for me, and I'll be cute, so don't worry about it. Also, if you hear a little noise in the background, that's just my little sunshine. He's saying hi. Don't worry about that either. Say hi. Say hi. He be looking at everything but what you tell him to look at. Say bye-bye. So annoying. All right, take him and go. Leave children away with you. All right, I actually gotta make this quick because I gotta be out the door in like an hour and a half. So yeah, I'm gonna start with my brows. And I know I have a weird way of doing my brows. Don't say nothing to me in these comments. I'm telling y'all. I know I don't do my brows like everybody else, but this is what works for me. Again, don't get crazy in my comments now. All right. So yeah, okay, so I have a story time. It's kind of short, so if we get through it before I get finished, then then I have another one. I have a backup story time too. So the first one, this story time is about how this guy I was talking to, his best friend ended up accidentally telling me that he was cheating. Well, not cheating because we wasn't together like that, but he was seeing other girls. If I get through this story time before I finish up, then I'll tell you how I actually ended up with this particular guy, because that's a story time in itself. But so yeah, basically I had started talking to this guy. We met on an app. I won't say which one because they're not paying me to say which one. But we met on an app, and he lived in the next state over. I'm not gonna tell y'all which state because I don't need y'all putting two and two together. But yeah, he lived in the next state over. So immediately we pretty much linked right away because he was just like an hour and a half away from me. Right away, there were red flags and everything because he was kind of, you know how they do the freaky talk early. So there were red flags, but I liked them. So I decided to see what he was talking about. I went over to his town the next day or whatever. He had planned a little date, or so he said. He had planned a little date, and I got there, and basically we went to the beach for a beach workout, and this was really, for me, it was a deal breaker, but for somebody else, it might not have been. So, we were doing he's like really fit or whatever. And this was back when I was somewhat fit. I was slacking on my workouts as of recently, but I was still somewhat fit or whatever, but I wasn't fit like him. So we get to the beach and he wants me to run up and down the beach, like do the most. And I'm like, okay, first of all, if you plan the beach workout for us, you should probably see like what my tolerance is. That man had me out there about to throw up, like, sir. And I'm telling him like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, we got to take a minute. Yeah. He's like, no, he just pushing me like full trainer mode. He's not a real trainer, but he's just pushing me full trainer mode. And I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. So I pretended to do the whole I'm about to throw up thing, and I'm like, get me out of here. So he did. Went to go get something to eat, pick up something to eat. I'm thinking that we're going to sit down and eat, like have a real date. We're picking up food and going back to his place. Pick up food, go back to his place. And it was a cool little vibe. He put on a movie. One thing that I really liked about him was that he has this ability to kind of predict a movie, any movie, without even seeing it. He can predict like the outcome or whatever. And I think that's really cool or whatever. So we watching the movie. We finish up our food. And as soon as we finished up our food, he's like, oh, you want to go lay down? Sir. So after that night, we got like really super close. We were seeing each other often, and trying to do a thing. You know how you like, you're not in a full-blown relationship. It's not quite y'all together too often for it to be a situationship. It's like you're trying to do a thing. You're trying to ting, basically. So we started hanging out a lot or whatever. We started getting to know each other, and we were together so often that it was like, okay. We started having those conversations like, are you seeing anybody else? No. Are you seeing anybody else? No. So we've already had this conversation once. But I still wasn't taking it seriously because for me, he wasn't giving enough into the situation. It was usually mostly me coming to see him, which I was comfortable with because I wasn't quite comfortable with him meeting Maya. So it was one of those things. So I was like, it was more so like, okay, I'm gonna come out there to you. But hold up. Where is my concealer? Hold on, y'all. I really hate that this is warm honey. This is not my cool tan. I'm gonna use warm honey though, because I don't feel like doing the real bright shit today. I'm sweating if y'all notice. It's really hot out today, and I got my hair on full throttle, but I can't have it like all the way up because of the baby. And I really hate that I'm sweating while I'm trying to do this. So yeah, I was coming out there all the time or whatever. We were hanging out, and there was even a point where it was like, oh, my mom's was here. I wanted you to meet her, and I'm like, I'm not quite ready for that, but I liked him. I did like him. Like I said, there was a lot of things I didn't like about him. He was kind of selfish. He was a Leo. Kind of selfish, kind of vain, kind of takes 2 hours to leave the house to go get tacos, that type of deal. But we're going to get into that too. One day I came out there and he was, so we were hanging out, we were watching TV. He hadn't even gotten dressed. We were talking about going to get something to eat, but he hadn't even gotten dressed yet. So, we were just lounging around and stuff, and it was a really good day for us. Like, no argument. We didn't really get into real arguments or whatever, but we'll have a little back and forth and everything because he was Leo. He thought he knew everything. Damn, I just messed that up. But he thought he knew everything. So this is a really good day for us in particular. We were like hanging around. He showered. We did what we do, and we were like, we want tacos. So I waited 2 hours for him to get dressed, which was cool. I was able to go through his graphic tees and stuff, so I was chilling. So he got dressed, we got ready to go. We go get the tacos and everything. And at this time, I'm not gonna tell you that because y'all gonna be able to put two and two together. But I was telling him about how like I had to go away for a little while and everything like that. And you know, that was really just my way of like putting some distance between us because I was still on the fence. But you know, he wasn't really saying anything that was like, that made me feel like, okay, well, this is going to be a thing. We're going to be together, la, la, la. And I just don't be trying to play like that. So I really got to do that all over again. I messed that up. I'm a little nervous. I ain't never did my makeup in front of nobody. Nobody knows how I do this. And I know I don't do it right. So that's really why, that's really the issue. Because I know somebody going to get in my comments like, girl. But yeah. So, that very same day or whatever, everything was cool. But, like I said, I was trying to like put some distance between us. So I'm like, I gotta go away for a little while or whatever. Just kind of to see what he said. And he did look sad, but he didn't express any emotion. And he like, oh, well, he said he was going to miss me and everything. But it was just like, I'm going to miss you. Not like, oh, why you going? Oh, I was just catching the vibe with you. I was just like, I thought we was going to do something. I thought we was going to do a real thing. And yeah, nothing. It was just like, I'm going to miss you. Damn, that's crazy. That type of stuff. So to me, that let me know he wasn't really ready for commitment. But, yeah, so we get our tacos, we riding around listening, like, it was a really good day for us. We were riding around listening to Anita Baker, Brandy, singing, and all this other shit. Singing to each other, all this other cute shit. So, he was going out that night. And fuck this eyebrow all the way up, y'all. I'm gonna have to do this again. So yeah, he was going out that night to a little festival that they have in their city or whatever. And he was going with his best friend. He called his best friend while we were in the car. And they were talking about the plans and everything, where they was going to meet up there, who was coming, COVID protocols, la la la. And I'm just sitting on the side like a proud fake girlfriend. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat like a proud fake girlfriend, la 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 la. Cause he's talking with his friend and he's on the Bluetooth and la la la. And we looking at each other and smiling and all this other shit. So all of a sudden, okay, so they get done going through the plans or whatever. And then all of a sudden it gets quiet. And out of nowhere, the best friend goes, so what happened with them girls you left the club with last night? Bitch, I know you fucking lied. I know you fucking lied. Mind you, let me go back. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but yeah, we had the conversation before, and then we just had the conversation again. He had just asked me before, when we were at the house, kicking in, he had just asked me if I was seeing anybody else. So to me, that said, okay, he was considering like maybe he wanted to take this thing to the next level or whatever. Maybe not. This eyebrow is going to be terrible. Y'all, please don't judge me. My hair hangs over the side anyway, so I really don't care. But it's just the point. So, I really hate this. I butchered this. Please don't think this is how I always do this, because I swear I don't. But yeah, so it gets quiet. We all pause. Quiet. He was like, what you talking about? He tried to play it off. He was like, what you talking about? I wasn't with nobody last night. Mind you, I got to his house. How did I get to his house? Oh, we were talking like 2 o'clock that morning. So I didn't even know he had went out. I guess it makes sense though, because he was kind of like tipsy and a little freaky. But I didn't even know he had went out. We were talking like 2 o'clock in the morning to maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And maybe he wasn't lying. He was lying. So the friend was like, because dudes will do stuff like that. Not all dudes, but some dudes will do stuff like that. They will leave the club at like 12 o'clock in the morning with the female, be done with that by 2, 3 o'clock, send them on their merry way, and then call their girl. It happens all the time. So, he was like, what you talking about, man? I ain't leave with nobody. I ain't do nothing. Da, da, da. He was like, stop playing, man. Before he could stop him or give him a hint that he was in the car with me, the dude was like, come on, man, stop playing. You know them girls you left with, la, la, la. He was like, man, you know I've been chilling. He tried to play off again. He's like, man, you know I've been chilling. I ain't been on shit, da, da, da. And I guess that was the signal, like, shut the fuck up. So, at that point, I'm just, I'm sitting on the passenger side, like, word? Like, Mr., are you seeing anybody else? I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, I didn't even tell you the answer. He said he wasn't seeing anybody else, but he does text people from time to time, here and there. I'm like, I respect that, because I thought it was the truth at the time. I'm like, I can respect that, because he didn't even have to tell me that much. So for him to tell me that he's still texting females, blah, 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 okay, cool. We not together, whatever. I would assume that at some point when we decide to officially be together, that would stop. But you saying this, knowing you, first of all, this is what I don't like about people in general. I'm not just gonna say men. This is what I don't like about people in general. Why am I still on my eyebrows? Y'all give me a minute. All right, y'all, I had to go in and redo that whole situation. But I ended up using the Juvia's Place. It just says 9. I don't remember what the shade was. It just says 9 on the bottom. So, but yeah, it's the Juvia's Place concealer. I had to fix that thing on up. But yeah, I was saying, the thing that I don't like about people, one of my biggest pet peeves, it's one thing to be a liar. Nobody likes a liar. I don't like people that volunteer lies. I don't like people that volunteer lies. Nobody asked you, I never at any point asked you if you were dating anybody else, if you were sleeping with anybody else, because like I said, you could tell me anything. I'm going to observe the situation and come up with my own conclusion. But yeah, I never asked you if you were dating anybody else, if you were sleeping with anybody else or anything like that. You were the one that kept asking those type of questions. And I told you the truth in both instances. I'm a person, especially with my schedule, if I'm seeing somebody, I'm only seeing that person. I only have time for that person. Now, the minute that I feel like this isn't going anywhere, I'm going to see somebody else. I'm going to close out this situation and go on to the next. I don't believe in juggling multiple. I don't believe in playing with people. The minute I feel like this isn't for me, I'm out. I'm gone. So, you said that you weren't seeing anybody else. You specifically said you weren't seeing anybody else. You said you text people here and there, but as far as seeing people, linking with people, all that stuff, it was just me. So the lie detector in the form of the best friend came back and determined that was a lie. So he hurries up. After that, he closes out the conversation. He hurries up and get off the phone like, look, I gotta go. So he gets off the phone, and the car ride back to his house was just, and it wasn't even so much that I was mad. It was just like, don't play in my face. You literally just told me an hour ago that you weren't linking nobody else, and you went home from the club with multiple females the night before we're having this discussion.
Niggas got me fucked up. Oh, niggas got me fucked up. Not today, not the one. Fucked up. Oh.
So I'm on the passenger side just fuming, like, but it wasn't even that I was mad. Like I said, it was just like, I don't know. I'm a Cancer, so I'm real dramatic. So I wanted him to know that I was irritated. He didn't say nothing. And this is what another thing I didn't like about him. He doesn't address things. He thinks that if he doesn't say anything, it's just gonna go away. So he didn't say, oh man, he tripping, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what he on, blah, blah, or he was just playing, right? Like, he didn't even try to like come up with an excuse, like. And for me, it was just like, okay, all right, bet. So we get back to the house. I slammed the door on the BMW. Hop out the car. I slammed the door on the BMW. And actually, you know what? We were pulling up to his house. It's my primer. I'm using the e.l.f. primer, hydrating face primer. We were pulling up to the house as they were getting off the phone. So he was like, I gotta go. But I was getting out the phone. I was getting out the car where he was telling me he had to go. I realized I came out the garage and he was still in the car for like a couple minutes, like 2 minutes or so. So I guess he must have been telling him like, dude, you blew up my spot. Like, so, do I want to do foundation today or no? Let me do my concealer and then I'll see how I feel. All right. So I decided to go ahead and throw my lashes on now because I knew that was going to be the hardest part for me because I don't do my lashes. I either go get them done or I throw on magnetics or something like that. I never did my own lashes before, so I knew it's going to be for my first time doing my lashes, laying my lashes, so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to have to get used to that and start doing my lashes. But yeah, back to the story. So, we were, I guess when he was getting off the phone, we were just pulling up to his house. So I got out the car, slammed the door, boom. He took an extra like 2 minutes to come to the door, whatever, and I guess he was explaining to his mans that I was in the car and basically like he fucked up. So he comes to the door, we go in, we eat our food or whatever, and at that point, I was just kind of I was staring at him. I was giving him the crazy stare, whatever. Then I'm like, let me chill out because me being me, this is gonna be the last time I say this, man. I've already decided in my mind I'm not gonna do all the extra arguing with you and all that. I'm just at that point in my life. Y'all know my story. Y'all know where I came from, what I've been through. I'm not arguing with nobody. So I had already made up in my mind that was the last time I was ever gonna see him. So finished my food and said a little something, like everything was cool, and then I left. He hit me up a couple times, and there was more from that, but I'm gonna actually make a part 2 to this and explain everything later. What's next? Oh, my foundation. Let me get my foundation real quick. Foundation, I'm actually going to go in first with the my eyeliner pencil. I just had a regular little glitter black glitter eyeliner, and I'm using the Pro Concealer, the Pro Conceal Cool 10 for my under eye, and then everything else I'm gonna do when I set my foundation. I'm gonna go in with a darker concealer. Because I got these bags up under my eyes, and anybody that knows. That's how you cover up the little baggies. Big baggies, if you will. So, I made up my mind that was going to be the last time I saw him. Unfortunately, God saw fit to, God had other plans, we'll say that. But yeah, I'll get into that later. I'm going to do a part 2 to that story time. So yeah, let's get into how I actually ended up in this situation. So back a couple years ago, I'm not going to tell y'all the year because I don't need y'all trying to put together a timeline. But a couple years ago, I had met a guy. And actually, when I get into the story, I'll probably be able to put it together. But I didn't even meet him. Then. I saw this dude at this festival that I went to, and he was super cute, super attractive, long locks, fit, muscles, all that. Just my type. And when we were at the festival, I was under the impression that he was there with somebody, which I still believe it, but he says he wasn't. So I didn't even like make eye contact and do the most, flutter my eyes so he can come my way and none of that shit. So he ended up, I went to, I found him on Instagram. I came across his page like months later. This was, the festival was in March? I think around August or some shit. I came across his Instagram, and he was in the suggestions. I guess we had mutual friends or whatever. He was in the little suggestion box or whatever. So, came across his Instagram and I followed him. He followed me back. He started watching my stories. Now, he wasn't really active on Instagram, but he started watching my stories like all the time and like commenting on my stories and everything. So he was actually Bayesian. He lives in New York, lives in Queens, hence why I don't mess with Queens niggas to this day. But he's half Bayesian or whatever. Well, his parents are Bayesian. And so I was going to Barbados. And he was like, he's like, oh, you going to my home and you ain't say nothing, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, shit, I didn't know I would have invited you, cause yeah, but so we just started making small talk from there. And he was telling me about, we were talking about like the different rum punches and different areas and where his family is from and all this other stuff. And come on, he worked at the airport. He worked at JFK in New York. I was going to Barbados by way of JFK. Now, if you've been to Barbados and you live in a state like Illinois, if you live in like Chicago, city like Chicago, you know that this my concealer I use the I think this is by Black Radiance. And what shade? Can I see the shade? Shade is 6826. It doesn't have a name, but that's the shade. 6826. So this is my Color Perfect foundation stick. Well, it's actually a foundation stick. That's right, I forgot. It's a foundation stick, but I use it for my contour. So that's how I contour my nose. Mind your business. He worked at JFK or whatever, and just so happened I was flying in and out of Barbados by way of JFK. So, when I flew in, we weren't talking yet. When I flew in, we weren't talking. Flew out, that's when I was there, that's when he started hitting me up and stuff. So, when I was flying back through JFK, he was like, we were talking all that day. Like, we were talking the whole time I was in Barbados, because that was the time that I got quarantined and my lashes lifting. But that was the time I got quarantined. So, so we were talking and getting to know each other that whole time and everything. And at that time, he told me that he was single and trying to see what was up. So, we were talking around the clock, FaceTime. He was a FaceTimer. He didn't really like texting and all that stuff. I'm a texter. I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like sitting on the phone with nobody. I'm a texter. Text me what you got, what you want. I will ignore your call and text you what's up. But he was a FaceTimer and he had a nice face, so I didn't mind. So we were FaceTiming the whole time I was in quarantine or whatever. He kept me company along with my friends that were sending me things and everything. My friends that were actually in BIM. Everybody was just kind of keeping me company, but I spent the most time on the phone with him. So, got a feel for him, really liked him or whatever. And so when I was coming out of Barbados, going through JFK, I had a layover, an overnight layover in New York. So I stayed at a hotel by JFK. Now, he hit me too late. Or he said he wanted to see me when I came back through or whatever. But he hit me too late. He was like, he was out or whatever. He was out with his friends and he wanted to slide on me. So, what do I want to do now, actually? Do I want to do... It's already hot. It's too hot for foundation. I'm not even doing that. I'm finna bake these eyes. Put on some bronzer and go on by my way. So... He was like, he was hitting me, but I was already asleep. It was late. I was already asleep, and he had texted me like, I was trying to see you, blah, blah, blah. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I started texting him. I'm like, well, where you at or whatever? He was like, don't worry about it. I'll be in Chicago, or I'm sure you'll be back here. Okay, cool. So, oh, shit, I never did finish my nose. So, So ever since then, we would talk every day, pretty much all day. He would FaceTime me while he was at work. He didn't really do shit. He was like a kind of a boss or whatever, so he didn't really do shit. So he would FaceTime me all day while he was at work. I would FaceTime him while I was working. I was working remotely, of course. So I was actually working remotely while I was in Barbados too. So we were just on the phone all day, pretty much every day. Then the call slowed up. But we were still in communication. Plans hadn't changed. We had been talking about our families. He would put me on FaceTime with his kids and just like, you know, I thought we was in it or whatever. So we had made talks of planning trips back and forth to Barbados, and we were adamant that we wanted to take things slow, but the conversations we were having were, to be quite frank, like shit, we had even talked about blending our families. Like that's how real shit got at one point. And what happened? Oh, I came back to New York for something, and I was like, okay, well, I want to see you, blah blah blah. I think it was a dance workshop or something. And I was like, I want to see you, blah blah blah. So okay, cool, make it happen. The weeks leading up to me leaving, he was checking in, what are the days. And then I found that he kept acting like he didn't remember what my dates were. And like, if you're this excited that I'm coming and we're going to see each other again, well, we're going to see each other finally, how is it that you can't remember my dates or whatever? So he kept playing slow about my dates or whatever. And so finally, it's time for me to come out there or whatever. He was doing whatever. I think he said he had to work and he couldn't pick me up from the airport, even though he was in the airport. But he was like, he couldn't take me to my hotel from the airport or whatever. That was fine or whatever. He ended up coming to my hotel later on, after I was already settled and everything, and we spent a few hours together, and then he left. So next day, he was supposed to come. He was supposed to come back or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, they got him working doubles and da da da." But he was like in communication with me and everything. So then I think I flew back home. The following day. Flew back home the following day and didn't hear from him no more. Not a word. And I'm kind of sick because this is the first time since my other situation in Barbados that I actually, like, you know, let somebody in. I had been single for what, like, almost a year at that point. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to let somebody back in. And, you know, the way he was, I wouldn't say he was thirsty, but it was like, you know how a man acts like he knows what he wants? He was doing that. So, what am I doing next? Oh, bronzer. So he was pretty adamant about, you know. So this, I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed bronzer in the shape of 400 Ebony. So he was like, he was doing all the things. So yeah, then all of a sudden, you know, he was supposed to come back to see me or whatever, and I never heard from him again. So at that point, did I get down here? I hope I did. So I was sick because I'm like, I got. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I let somebody in, and I got. So I'm sick. So I called him a few times about, I'm not one of them people, if you ghost me, I'm not finna keep calling you. If I feel like I've been ghosted, and I haven't been ghosted. I think I've only been, the first time getting ghosted? Oh shit, that was my first time getting ghosted. That's why I took it so hard. Yeah, that was my first time getting ghosted. So, and thankfully I have not been ghosted since, but, I have. I got ghosted after I ghosted somebody and they ghosted me back, but that don't really count. So that was my first time being ghosted, and I was sick. So, but I'm still not finna keep calling you back to back to back because I have a feel for what's going on. I've heard the stories. I know what ghosting is, so I'm not gonna keep doing that. So let's see. Got my bronzer on. This shit is sweating off as I do it, so I'm not really even taking it seriously. What do I want to do? I want to do a little powder. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little powder, and then I'm gonna go on by my way because this ain't even make no sense at this point. So, yeah, I was sick. I called him a couple times. I texted him a couple times. He blocked my number apparently, and that was it. I actually ended up coming back to New York, and I think that January. But at that point, I was actually talking to somebody else. But but I still was like, let me see. So I called him off of, what number did I call him off of? I called him off of WhatsApp. Oh, that's coming together. Yeah, I didn't even lay that other layer, found it of that other layer of concealer because this shit's sweating off as I do it. But and I'm real messy with it. If you can see, I'm getting powder everywhere. But yeah, so I'm like, somebody was texting me. I'm like, let me just see. So I called him on WhatsApp or whatever, and he answered. Once he realized it was me, he seemed really, his tone of voice was peeved, but yet he was like, you know, kind of filling me in on things. He was like, he just got back from Barbados. His uncle died, and I remembered that uncle. He was really close with him or whatever. He was spending a lot of time with him in Barbados when he was coming up. So, kind of felt bad for him, especially hearing that when I finally get back in contact with him. I need to fix that eyebrow too. When I finally get back in contact with him, his uncle just passed. So, I wasn't finna do the whole, where'd you go? Why'd you leave me? Da, da, da. Okay, so apparently I'm having storage issues. I'm not sure how because I have like 256 gigs, but whatever. I'm gonna set this, wrap this story time up, and be on my way. I'll show you guys the finished look after this. But yeah, so got in contact with him. He was real short, but he told me that he had lost his uncle and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. He was like, oh, well, my son is in the background crying, which he was. I did hear his son. But I knew that when he got off the phone, I wasn't going to hear from him again. He wasn't going to come back. He said he was going to come back, but he never did. So that was kind of the closure that I guess I needed. Like I said, I think I called him maybe a total of like 5 or 7 times since everything happened. After that, I sent him maybe like 3 messages, 3 texts. That's it. I'm not, no, I don't chase. But the fact that I really thought that I had a future with this man is the only thing that made me even call him after that. But, so yeah. Oh, so after that, that's how I ended up meeting the other guy from the first story. I just kind of went on the downward spiral or whatever, and I was just looking to play at that point. Ended up playing myself. Well, I didn't play myself. He tried to play me. But yeah, so I had to cut that off. But yeah, there was more. Like I said, there's more to that story. This is a random setting spray that I got from, I think, Ross. So yeah, I'm going to set this, throw my clothes on, and show you guys the finished look. And yeah. Oh, my highlight. How y'all let me forget my highlight? Y'all tripping. Man, look. Okay, so I'm using real quick before I get cut off again, baked highlighter from Juvia's Place, Heroin Glow. I think there's a Heroin Glow 1 and a Heroin Glow 2. I have both actually, and this is 2. Not what I want to use. This is Heroin Glow 1, I believe. And I love it. It's one of my favorite highlights. So yeah. And all you need is a little bit. Was actually supposed to do this before I set, but it be like that sometimes. I'm gonna get your major points. This is what I do. Like I said, I'm not a professional. Do as I say, not as I do. Get that Cupid's bow, get the tip of that nose. That I actually like to throw a little bit up under my eyebrow. I forgot what that's called. Something bow or something. I don't know. But yeah. I use one side of my brush, in case y'all looking at me crazy. I use one side of my brush for bronzer and the other side for highlight. Okay, and then a little bit on my chin. Chin. Alright. And I think I'm good, actually. Alright. Rub that in a little bit more. I hate messy highlight, I do. And ironically, mine is always messy, so. Alright, I think I'm good. Alright. Set this one more time. Bring it all together. That look crazy. Hold on. Good enough. Right.
Yeah, make sure you don't lag, yeah. Make sure you want task for it, don't cap on it. I like it when you brag on me.
Everybody go to breakfast.